But I
Perfect.
just
Thank you
want
so much, Elena.
okay,
Thank you
sure.
to everyone for your interest in learning more about the All Hands on Deck national recruitment campaign that we have going on at the Canadian Coast Guard. My name is Miriam Qureshi, and I'm a National Recruitment Officer for the Canadian Coast Guard. Presenting with me today, we have my colleague Mathilde Dumaine, who is also a recruitment officer with great knowledge of the various personnel positions within the Coast Guard. So all I ask is that if you have any questions throughout the presentation, if you can please take note of them, and then we will answer them at the end so we don't run too much time over. So without further ado, Mathilde, if you want to go to the next one. Perfect. So to promote equal employment opportunities within our organization, candidates self-declaring to any employment equity groups applying for any positions within the All Hands on Deck campaign will be given priority to appointment. So again, these ones would be Indigenous people, women, visible minorities, and persons with disabilities. Next one, then Mathilde. So the Canadian Coast Guard, also CCG, you'll see the acronyms, is a special operating agency within the Department of Fisheries and Oceans Canada, also stands as DFO. So we work to ensure the safety of mariners in Canadian waters and protect Canada's marine environment. We support Canada's economic growth through the safe and efficient movement of maritime trade, and we help to ensure our country's sovereignty and security through our presence in Canadian waters. So as per the map shown on this slide, the Coast Guard works within 4 different regions, including the Arctic, Western, Central, and Atlantic. We currently have a total of 126 vessels, 23 helicopters, many aids to navigation buoys, and 183 marine communication towers. So our Canadian Coast Guard programs include the search and rescue, ice breaking, maritime security, aids to navigation, environmental response, and scientific research, and more. To see more about the different programs that the Canadian Coast Guard offers, you can visit our website for more information. It's in the bottom right corner, I believe. So for this presentation, we kept the programs relevant to the targeted positions included in this campaign. So the first one would be our search and rescue team. So the Marine Search and Rescue Coordinator and Assistant Coordinator, assist in providing any invaluable service to those in need of assistance on federal waterways. So they support the activation, planning, and coordination of maritime search and rescue missions within the Canadian Coast Guard vessels, the Royal Canadian Air Force resources, and other partners. So the search and rescue stations house a search and rescue crew and vessel ready to respond to emergencies at any time. These stations are strategically placed along the Canadian coastline to ensure adequate coverage of Canadian waters. The next program we would have is the icebreaking program, which the icebreaking operations facilities, the informed, safe, and timely movement of maritime traffic throughout the ice-covered Canadian waters. Heavy, medium, and light icebreakers, as well as air cushion vehicle conduct the icebreaking operations to keep the waterways navigable. So those operations are crucial for Arctic communities as it allows commercial ships to deliver products during these small windows of time in the summer. It also assists in the efforts to minimize the effects of flooding by ice jams. The next program we have is Aids to Navigation. The Aids to Navigation team oversees visual and oral aids to navigation such as fixed aids, lighthouses, buoys, and foghorns. These are responsible for the provisions of electronic positioning systems and of navigation safety information. So navigational aids help mariners to confirm their positions to allow them to stay inside navigable channels and to avoid marine hazards. The program after that we have is environmental response. So the program aims to reduce the impact of marine pollution spills on public safety, the economy, the environment, and culturally significant sites. It oversees the response to spills from ships and unknown sources to the Canadian waters. So the program provides a preparedness capacity for response to ship source marine pollution incidents. So the program also responds to the reported cases of marine pollution. Second last one we have is the scientific research. The Coast Guard assists essential scientific research in the Arctic, as well as research regarding the sea, fauna, and flora population in Canadian waterways. Then we have maritime security. So the maritime security program works in support of various departments and agencies responsible for security and law enforcement in Canada. So in accordance with the Oceans Act of 1996, the Coast Guard vessels support the efforts made to help raise awareness of potential threats to maritime security, enforce the law on water, and ensure the safety and security of Canadians. So in addition to the safety management team provides leadership and safety management within the Coast Guard. So on this slide, you will find the positions from entry level to senior levels across Canada that are available within this All Hands on Deck campaign. Please note that this is not the full complement of the Coast Guard. So this is just a couple positions that we have available. So within the applications, you will find position profiles that provide an overview, including more information for each of the specific positions, such as this one. It's a steward. The duties of stewards are to provide hotel and catering services for the ship's complement, passengers, and guests. Then we have the twine hand. So the twine hand's duties are to assist in various fishing operations, general shipboard maintenance, and operate heavy machinery. Then we have the storekeepers. Storekeepers provide logistics services and material management and administration to the ship's complement and passengers of Coast Guard ship and to shore-based personnel. We then have cooks. The cooks on our CCG ships provide food and catering services to complement and passengers. We have our chief cook, who is responsible for providing food and catering services to complement and passengers. We have our engine room assistant, who is there to provide maintenance, operational, and custodial services for the watchkeeping engineer. We then have our engineering officers, who are there to provide engineering services for the chief engineering of a CCG vessel. We have our senior engineering officers, who are there to provide engineering management services to the chief engineer. And then I'm supposed to say chief officer, but our chief officer is responsible for the administration, management, and safe, secure, and effective operation of a deck department of a CCG vessel under the authority of the commanding officer. The commanding officer is then responsible for the administration, management, and safe, secure, and effective operation of a whole CCG vessel. So, if you're interested, this is how you can apply to some of these positions that we've just showed you. The link for the poster will be provided within the chat, and Mathilde will send it in a few seconds. You can apply directly from here using the QR code located on this slide as well. If you want to take a second to scan it, you can check it out. There'll be more information regarding the different positions available on that website as well. And these are the steps that you can follow if you are interested in any of the positions that were just shown to you. Next slide. So things to consider when you are applying is that the deadline to apply is December 21st, 2022. So we do have 20 days left. There is no exam or formal interviews that will be administered to get into these positions. For entry to mid-level positions, their written communication will not be assessed either. We offer accommodation and support for every step of the way. Should you require assistance with the submission of your application, please do not hesitate to contact us. Below is also the email for our Gen box that you can reach out to with any other further questions that you might have that if you don't have the chance to ask us today. So now that we're here, does anyone have any questions regarding anything that we have said so far?